Hey everybody, and welcome back to Fresh Set. I'm Sabrina,
And I'm Kevin.
and we're back after the
We're
spa.
back
Lovely
after spa.
visit. Lovely visit to the spa.
Lovely. Yeah. No rain, no water.
No, I
No,
was kind of
not a real
hoping
spa.
for a little.
I wanted to shake up a little bit, and it didn't happen.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
got, I got.
they did say that we haven't had a full wet race this year yet, and I mean,
Like
we've had
to,
wet.
to go to full wets.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
it hasn't
even
been raining
last year,
that.
I think we only had maybe one that went to full wets. I think
China
maybe one.
or
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't remember seeing those blues very often last year. I think it was only one.
yeah,
And so, I mean, I mean, I would have liked it just to shake up the end a little bit because
yeah,
I got baited because I got to watch the end of the race. I had to stop. I had to go to watch the end of the race on a
yeah,
Monday. And so I thought that maybe because I had seen a picture of something and I didn't see, I was trying to avoid social media. I was trying to avoid any kind of spoiler. And I saw Kimmy, but I also saw Kimmy hugging Lewis. So I'm like, oh, as I'm watching the race, maybe something happens.
What happened?
What happens? And so I was really waiting and I was,
Yeah.
well, we'll
You're
see.
like, you're like, did the rain
Yeah.
come? Because they were like right as the race was about to begin, they were saying, "Oh, there's raindrops on some of the cameras."
Yeah.
And there
And the
was,
radar looked like,
yeah,
yeah.
but it didn't happen, unfortunately.
No, it
Spoiler
didn't.
alert.
So there you go. Yeah. Spoiler weather alert.
Yeah, I just thought it would have been a good. It's not the end of Spa, but it would have been a good one, a good little bit of drama for, since we're not having Spa next year, I don't believe.
We are
Um,
not.
and
Which
just it's a great race and with these batteries and it just would have been a nice
I'm
send off.
I'm up I'm upset and not upset because watching qualifying, it looked good. Qualifying looked good, regardless of the battery issue. Yes, there is a battery issue, which they're hoping, I'm assuming, to rectify in the next 2 years.
Yeah,
That's their plan before they
yeah,
move to some other regulations. And for all the battery issues, other than what we'll talk about at the having at the beginning of the race, I like the race.
hmm
And all I could
I would
think of
agree.
is why are they getting rid of Spa? I mean, I've
Yeah,
thought that the whole time.
yeah,
I
since it
think
was
that
announced.
yeah, I think there's if we had a top three races that we could switch out, Spa wouldn't even be close to sniffing those three races.
No,
Not
it
even
would be
close.
the
I would
bottom
put
of the
that at the
list.
bottom three. Yeah, but in the
Yeah,
bottom three of my list of what I'm taking out.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
And it
yeah,
proved it.
yeah, it was. I mean, Spa is the second longest. No, it is the longest. It
It
is the
is the
longest track.
longest race. Only
uh
44 laps.
Yeah, 44 laps. And lap times are about for qualifying, 144,
145. Yeah. It's the
143 if
closest
you
we get
could.
to those 2 minute things.
Yeah.
If you're an Aston Martin, you're about 2 minutes.
Yeah. You're
Yeah.
still actually
Yeah.
going around right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it it's an interesting track. I mean, we not giving too much away, but it is a track that there can be a yellow flag on one part of the track where marshals can go onto the track, do whatever they need to do,
Yeah.
grab whatever debris,
Because you have
and
enough
get
time.
off
Yeah.
before the cars come back around.
As long as they don't have any like large sweeping of an area for gravel or whatever.
Yeah,
You've got that. It's a long track. It has so many nice flowing corners,
hmm
chicanes, uphills, downhills. It is a racer's track, and I know Silverstone is the what probably one of the fastest ones, but this is probably one of the most picturesque and beautifully designed races. So they have those aerial helicopter shots, and you see the forests, you
Yeah.
see, and it's just a great track all around.
Which you can actually watch the race from the forest as well.
You can, yeah.
It's a bit of a
If
hike,
you are
but you
so
can.
inclined to hike, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You can do that. Um, but I mean, again, we don't talk too much about practice, but we had what I thought FP1 Max is the fastest in FP1. We haven't seen
Yeah.
that. So
No.
I was like, good for him.
Hmm. Yeah.
I mean, it's
I'm
only
sure he didn't
practice,
take too
but
much out of that. Yeah.
no,
No.
he was like, okay, cool, great. Everybody else just didn't do any laps.
Which
Um,
I think he was just more so just pissed off that he was getting questions about leaving Red Bull. That he was just like, fuck this. I just gotta focus and
yeah,
drive. And he just put everything into FP1. And they're like, okay, forget it. Now I can
yeah,
just go on and not be the greatest.
yeah. Uh, then we had a couple of red flags during the other practices. Gasly
Yep.
had a crash. Lewis had a crash in FP3. Pretty
Lewis was
bad.
violent.
Yeah, pretty bad crash for him. Totally beat up the car, and then 3 hours later, they were ready for 2 hours later, actually, I think. They were ready for
Quali.
qualifying.
Yep.
I think Franco Colapinto, he didn't crash out, but he had made some air that's on some of his
Yeah.
like he just went off at one point. Um,
Well, they are
yeah,
pretty
then
rough curbs. And so
yeah,
if you're done, you're done.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Um, then we had we went into the weekend knowing that there was going to be a lot of grid penalties, or a few
Mhm.
up front, and then some came throughout the weekend. We knew Lando was taking a 10-place grid penalty
New power unit,
for
I believe.
power
I think there
unit
was a couple.
change.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same with Hajar. Brand new
Hadjar was
power
doing a
unit.
complete renew
Yeah.
because his was at back of the grid. Not even a 10 place. His
Yeah.
was a back of the grid start. Uh, Alonso was taking one, I believe.
Alonso had something. He was because he ended up actually at the back of the grid to
Yeah.
start. Spoiler alert, but didn't matter about his qualifying, which was not great. Um, wasn't
Uh,
last, but then starts last.
yeah. Signs, I think after quali was when they decided that they were going to do some replacing to Carlos
Extra change,
Sainz.
yeah.
So he was getting a grid place penalty. Yeah, so a lot of grid place penalties going
Yeah.
into qualifying. I think, I mean, obviously the biggest one would be Lando in terms of like
Actual
causing drama.
consequence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, depending where he is going to qualify, which is typically in the top, no, I wasn't say the top five, but not so much
You could
recently.
know the McLaren top six. They're in the
Yeah.
top six. I mean, they're in their
Yeah.
top 8 car, but they are consistently in the top 6. I think they're in the
Yeah.
top 3 here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that was going to be a big one, of where he was going to qualify.
Yeah.
Uh, then we go over to the qualifying, like you've said, the usual suspects were out. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, in Q1.
One. So yeah.
So Q2,
Yep.
heading into Q2, we start to see some changes because it's both Racing Bulls that make it into Q3, isn't it?
Nope. It is
If I remember
not.
correctly. Oh,
But we don't have an Alpine that makes it into Q3. I think that's a little more of a shocker. What does replace it is so we have Liam Lawson who's out, just misses out. Um, just misses out by a couple hundredths of a second, I believe, on Q3. Arvid Lindblad gets in, which usually it's Lawson that gets through.
yeah.
And Gabriel Bortoleto makes it through Q2. And not in dead last, I don't believe. Yes, it was.
No.
He was the last one to finish. Yeah, he was the 10th place finisher to make it into because he had just beat out Lawson.
Mm. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So where were we? Signs, Hulkenberg, Colapinto, Gasly, Lawson out in Q2, which means we have both Red Bulls into Q3, both Ferraris, both Mercedes, both McLaren's. McLaren's a big separation, actually. I think that's one of the weirder parts is that you
Yeah.
have Lando in 3 and Oscar in 7th.
Yeah.
Um, so not close by any margin, I don't think. No, almost 2/10 of a second. So
Yeah.
really not that close. I mean, it is close, but it's not that
Yeah.
close in terms of
Yeah.
quality.
Yeah. I mean, we see like you said, both Red Bulls, but because we know and Red Bull knows that Hadjar is going to be taking the back of the grid penalty,
Yeah.
they're using Hadjar
Yeah.
as bait, really.
A toe. Yeah.
And he's the toe for Max, and he gives him a good toe
For a long time.
a very long time. Like they
So
were,
much that Max applauds him.
yeah, I was actually really shocked that another car, like another team, didn't throw their car on track at that time because they essentially had an empty track to do what they were doing. And I know it was
Yeah,
close to the end, but
again, but long track, I think they timed it
yeah,
well enough.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean, Isaac Hadjar finishes with a Q3 time of DNF.
yeah,
So,
because he really just towed,
he
he
just yeah, he
towed
just did
him
he
and
was
then
there for
went
the toe,
in.
and it was done. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think another shocking one is just the Ferraris were only separated by 0.02 of a second. It was a 144.893 to 144.895,
yeah,
but the spoiler alert, the Mercedes where Kimi finishes on pole, Russell in fourth, a half a second difference. That's a lot
yeah,
in equal machinery. Um, I, and we'll talk about it later, but I just don't know what was not clicking with George's car, where that can be that much of a gap.
well, we'll find out.
We'll see. And when you look
It
at the timings,
continues.
it makes a lot more sense why George was so pissed off.
Yeah.
Because even
Uh,
Q1 George is ahead. Q2 there's still a second and a half, or sorry, half a second apart, even in
yeah.
Q2.
Yeah. It's interesting. I mean, you mentioned Kimmy takes pole. We have Max who comes in second, who we all kind of thought Max was going to take it, and then you said that they weren't even showing Kimmy
No, they showed Max
on the
on
TV.
his yeah, showed Max on his lap, and he's a tenth and a half ahead of Lando to take provisional pole, and all of a
Mhm.
sudden Kimmy out of nowhere, 5 to 10 seconds later, shows up on pole, and not by a
Yeah.
small margin, almost 3/10 of a second.
Yeah.
Actually, more than
Uh,
3/10, I believe.
He just comes in fine, which is what Kimmy has done. And it actually was his dad's birthday on Saturday qualifying day, so happy
Yeah,
birthday to his dad. Um, and then Lando in third, like you said. Now, I had feelings about this. I know, okay, we know he's taking the grid place penalty,
hmm
but they always interview the top three.
yeah.
I know on track he qualified third,
hmm
but that's not going to be his position. Why is he being interviewed?
Because they have to.
I just find it so strange.
He was the podium qualified finisher, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah.
One of the top three. He had to put it back. You have to think that with the way the midfield is, if he is able to put himself that far ahead on a one lap, that he is going to be able to fight for places and fight for a podium going into the race. You have to think that
Yeah.
because we've seen it so many times,
Yeah.
right? So
And he does a good job during the race as well. To a degree.
sometimes,
Yeah.
yeah,
To a degree.
yes and
Um
no.
but we have the post race interview, post qualifying interview I just thought was funny. Uh Kimmy is being interviewed, and he says, or the interviewer says, "Hey, how do you feel about beating two half Belgians at their what is their home race?" And he's like, looks over at Max and Lando, and he's like, "You guys are Belgian?" And Max is like, "Yeah, both of us are half." And he was like, "Oh, okay." And then just like continues his interview. I mean, bizarre question, but like it
Bizarre
was just
question. He's gotten a lot
funny.
of
Yeah.
nationality questions this weekend. Apparently, got asked who he thought would the Italians would be cheering for more, Charles Leclerc in a Ferrari or him as the
For
Italian
him.
driver. He said right away
Yeah, he
it's
said Charles.
definitely Charles.
Yeah.
It's definitely Charles because
Yeah.
the Ferrari is always going to trump an Italian driver.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I can see that, but I can see by the end if he does get this championship, I think Italy will
I can see
definitely
the
thank him.
Italians cheering and being like, "Yeah, good job. Yeah, that's our guy. That's our guy." Because we're Italian. These are like this is our heritage. We all won this as Italians
Yeah.
because that's what they do, even if they're in Canada or the U.S. or wherever.
Yeah.
It's just how they are. It's
Yeah.
Portuguese too, but I there's not going to be a party in Italy like there would be if
No.
Ferrari had wins
No.
a constructors championship
Oh
or a
God.
Ferrari driver wins the drivers championship.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Italy is definitely for Ferrari and Charles.
yeah,
More
yeah, yeah.
he's their golden boy. Um but yeah, jumping over to the race. So like we said 44 laps. It's a shorter race in the sense of how many laps we're doing, but the track is it's a long track.
Yep.
Um so did we have any formation lap drama?
Nope.
No. No.
Nope.
Um, all right. Race starts. Lights on, lights off. Who's in? Kimmy has a good start. Max
Yes.
has a decent start.
Decent start.
George, who had moved up to third, was it? Yeah.
Yep.
George moved up to third. I mean, he got off the line fine and then just absolutely
Yeah,
loses
and
it from there.
he gets in through turn 2 and 3.
Yeah.
So what's 3? 3 is Eau Rouge, is it not? Before we get into Radion, and as soon as
Yeah.
he gets to the top of Radion, he's done. He
Absolutely done.
has absolutely nothing left in the
Yeah.
tank. Yeah, that is
And
dating a
cars are
model and trying to go for round 2. It's it's not happening. You're trying. You
he
got the pull start going, but it's not happening.
he is being passed by cars left. I think Oscar passes him.
I think Oscar
Um,
passes him, and
the
then Lewis
Ferraris
is
pass him.
very quickly right on his ass.
Yeah.
Charles passes him, and then it's Lewis right behind
Yeah,
him.
I think Charles and Oscar pass him like at the same time on either
Yeah,
side of him if I remember correctly. And then Lewis is right behind him. And George, who is running out of battery, gets caught up beside Lewis, and Lewis hits him and knocks George right across the track, right
yeah,
into the gravel, and he is out of this
he's out of
race.
the race. Yeah,
Um,
George Russell's
yeah,
DNF, 0 laps completed. Not even a
yeah,
half a lap. I think he
no,
got. Did he get a kilometer and a half? Maybe.
I doubt
Maybe.
it.
Yeah.
So he's out of the race. He is fuming. There is a safety car that comes out
Hmm.
for this. Uh, how initially we're thinking, oh, it's going to be a racing incident. It's lap 1, turn 4.
I
We're
didn't
so
think it was going to be
early.
racing incident. I thought they were going to give Lewis a penalty.
Did you? I didn't.
Oh no, sorry. Yes, I'm thinking of something else. Yes,
Yeah,
no, we
I
didn't
was
think it
like,
was going to be a racing incident.
lap 1.
Yes, getting things a little
Um,
confused here.
yeah, I definitely thought it was going to be a racing incident. We don't often see a penalty because the cars are so bunched
Yeah,
up.
there's just too much
There's a lot
chaos.
going.
As long
Unless
as
like, yeah,
unless it's egregious and there's some kind
yeah,
of you're pushing somebody off track, you're trying to hit somebody,
yeah,
whatever. Yeah,
yeah. It didn't. seem like it,
Nope.
but we do
And there
get
was
the
space.
notification. It's being investigated. It's heading to the stewards. It's whatever. Anyways, race keeps going. Hajar pits to he starts on the medium, starts on with hards, pits to change his mediums. As pits to change to medium, sorry. And then as the safety car is still out and still going, he switches back to hards.
Yeah.
So I think we're at like lap 3 or 4 by this time because of the safety car. And he goes back in and switches back. And then basically he's done his pit stops and will just take the
Yeah.
hards that
It's
he
like
put back
two
on
different compounds. Yeah.
to the end of the race. Not a standard strategy, but on a 44 lap race, maybe it's something you can get away with. And
I get it. It's 44 laps. Race distance is still the same. I mean, they try to
yeah,
keep race distance for all races relatively within the, and I think it's 380 kilometers. I can't remember exactly.
yeah,
It's something, whatever. They keep them within a certain distance,
yeah.
give or take a couple. I don't, I don't think it's ever been a conversation this year that you can take hards for the full distance. So he pits on lap two, what would have been lap two because he passes
Mm-hmm.
the whatever the start line. At what point do you think these are going to last 380 kilometers?
I don't, I mean,
And I get the idea. Now, maybe you're expecting other safety cars. Maybe you're expecting other virtual safety cars. In which case, wouldn't you want a tire change anyways?
yeah. Well,
Uh,
I mean, technically the hards can go up to 50 laps depending on tire degradation,
I
depending
think it's
on
more
whatever. But
so 50 laps based on track length.
right. Yeah. So it
If
was
we
it was a
have
bold move.
if
Bold
we have
move.
like a 72, 74 lap, one of those 72, 74 lap races, I get it. 50 laps, no problem. I can see it happening. We've seen it happen before.
Yeah.
For 44 laps on the longest track of the year, you've got at that point 98% of the race to go. I just don't see it.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Well, and I
Or unless they're hoping that rain's coming and you're going to
right.
switch to
Everybody's got to go in.
an inter whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think also when you're at in starting in P21, you've got nothing to lose. Let's try this
No,
out.
absolutely not.
Let's see what this what
That I
this
agree
is
with a
gonna
thousand
do.
percent. Why not?
I mean, would he have done it if he was in P10? No. Um,
No.
but definitely in P21, and we will talk about where Isaac
Yeah, you're
Hadjar
not
ends
giving
up.
up. I
But
mean, you're giving up a place to at that point Fernando Alonso, who you're passing him pretty easily.
yeah, yeah. So the safety car comes in at I think it was lap 5. And then very quickly after that, we learn that Lewis is getting a 5-second penalty for the George for
For
knocking
causing
George
a
out,
collision. Yeah.
which nobody agrees with, including, well, I wouldn't say George doesn't agree with it, but nobody really
I don't think
agreed
George
with it.
included. So
Yeah,
yes,
because of
when
when
we
George
so
did
when
his
we hear
interview,
from
we hadn't
George, which
heard.
is
Yeah,
yeah, we hadn't heard about the penalty yet. And George is the first one in the interview saying, I don't think there was anything there. I don't think it was anything malicious by Lewis. It was it was a racing incident. I had no power. I'm I mean you and I have seen unless you want to play it, but you and I have seen radio from George where it has nothing, says absolutely nothing, and this is as soon as he gets hit, absolutely
yeah,
nothing about Lewis, absolutely nothing about the space, all about the power, putting him at risk from being tagged, collision, whatever, unsafe
yeah,
conditions essentially. And he's been
yeah,
complaining about it, apparently it sounds like, for the whole weekend.
yeah. And I mean, in his post-race interview, which is, a lap 10 for him. He does his interview and he is saying, I shouldn't have been there to cause this. Like, my car shouldn't have been there. My car is slow. I had zero
Yeah.
battery. And we kind of talked about it before, but how does he do a formation lap and do four corners and not have any battery to even defend himself? He can't
Well,
even block somebody from going around him. Like,
no, and he puts
not even
himself
fighting.
and everybody else behind him at risk,
Yeah.
especially when you come to lap one, lap two. If he's in a
Yeah.
fight for somebody, if he's in a three-way fight and he's got somebody behind him, he's also at risk.
Yeah.
This is something we talked about before this race, like the last
Hmm.
week or the week before. This is also something Fernando Alonso has talked about
Hmm.
all leading up to this weekend about, especially Spa is not a race that can be designed around these regulations or
Yeah.
that is raceable, or at least entertaining in the from the entertainment point of it. Not even the safety point of view, but the entertainment portion of it. Excuse me. With these batteries and just running out of energy and just having
Yeah.
absolutely nothing.
Yeah. It's,
Which I don't know if you saw before the race. I think it was on Thursday. They had a bunch of different vehicles on track that aren't race cars. They had like an ice cream truck. They had a whole bunch of stuff going around the track, and I don't know what it was for.
I
So I
did.
hope this wasn't AI tonight, and I didn't get just bamboozled here. But they also had a green tractor. I really hope it's AI because whoever organized, if this wasn't, and whoever organized this parade should have a little bit of forethought in thinking, let's not have the green tractor around the track. Because all last year it was about a blue tractor, an Alpine. I mean, it's not like it's something like there's no way somebody could not have foreseen this kind of, unless they just did it on purpose. But,
Yeah.
and all the memes were Aston Martin's car looking good on track.
I mean, it's funny
It is. It's hilarious.
and also
But I
kind
was
of
just,
true.
yes, but I was in disbelief that somebody allowed this. Just cancel it.
Yeah.
Just cancel it.
Yeah.
Just say, hey,
Well,
you know what? We're preserving the integrity of the track. We can't. We have to cancel this.
we can't
Cancel
do
it 3
this
days out. Yeah, yeah.
odd parade of
We're
cars.
preserving the integrity of the billion-dollar company that races with us.
Yeah. God, good times though.
Yeah.
Um, but so Lewis gets this penalty. It would be interesting to hear what George has to say after knowing that Lewis got the penalty. I still think he was going to stand on, this isn't my fault. This isn't Lewis's fault. This is the team's fault. Mercedes gave me a shit card this weekend. I don't know what's wrong. I mean, based on his radio, yeah, he's pissed. He is
Yeah. Can't
absolutely
hide
pissed.
that.
Um, so
I
yeah,
it was a refreshing side of George.
yeah. Very not too long after that, we do see Charles and Oscar, who had passed George and are now beside each other. We see them doing a little bit of back and forth. Uh, Charles pushes Oscar a little wide. They do touch. Oscar loses
Yeah. Front end plate.
his front end plate.
Yeah.
Um, which is also noted, also sent to the stewards.
Oscar, make sure he says it.
Yeah, and this was the one that I thought we would see a penalty. It wasn't egregious. It wasn't a
No.
horrible push, but he, you know, went infringed on Oscar's space a little bit. Um,
Yes.
and there's no
This
penalty.
this one I don't disagree with. I get he's pushing him a little wide. Oscar also makes no attempt to avoid where he had space too. He
Hmm.
wasn't like Oscar's outside left tires. I believe it was on the left side. Outside left tires were on the light. He didn't have to make any egregious. Now, if he had made a more drastic maneuver to miss, obviously he would have missed the damage, but
Yeah.
it would have looked worse than it was. But he
Yeah.
didn't. He kind of just sat in there. Piece of carbon fiber went flying, and everybody goes about their day. Um,
Yeah.
I get you're going to squeeze somebody out in a race.
Hmm.
You're going to. You have to defend your
Yeah.
position. Oscar didn't do anything to try to avoid an incident. I don't disagree with that penalty
I what
or
I did
non-penalty. Excuse me.
what I did find interesting was almost either the next lap or the two laps later. Charles does the same thing to Lewis, and they don't touch,
Nope.
but it gets very squirrely there for a second with how, and maybe that's just how Charles takes that corner, and you've got to either beat him at the corner or
Yep.
take him on the inside. Like it, but I was a little shocked that we got the Lewis penalty. That they, I guess I'm more shocked that they gave the Lewis penalty and didn't give this one. If they were both fine, we wouldn't even be talking about it.
No,
Um,
but
yeah,
and
but that's stewards.
no, yeah, yes,
That's the problem with
yes. There
stewards.
is no consistency. Lewis is not a penalty 100% because they didn't even take a look at somebody's telemetry or whatever. They didn't realize that Russell's car put him in danger. We all know that for Leclerc in both incidents, if you are not even, that is the lead cars. He's got that space. Now
Yeah,
don't have to aggressively force somebody off track and make it dangerous, but it's up to the person behind, technically behind, to bail out if they feel unsafe or if they feel like they can't make it. So
if they
yeah,
feel unsafe.
yeah.
Oscar's
If they
like,
can't make
I'm
it,
going.
I'm going. That's it. He's gonna.
Yeah,
He was looking. He was playing soccer. He was looking for that penalty. He was
yeah,
waiting for the touch and rolling around on the ground.
yeah,
There were some of those this weekend,
yeah.
but yeah,
In multiple sports.
yes, yeah.
Then the race kind of chills out for a bit. Um, there's a couple VSCs that we don't even actually find out what they were for. I'm assuming it's those like
Well, they
Marshall on
did.
track cleaning up
Yeah,
something, but
they did say that for the first one. There was something. It was some gravel or something. They had to pick up a bit of debris. The second one, they really don't say anything.
no,
And I'm thinking, I feel like they're just trying to create some drama here.
yeah, they're just like, here's a VSC.
Like this one, just kind of they're just trying to bring everybody closer together because this track is so long,
Yeah.
and it's gonna screw somebody.
Well, and when we have those situations, they will sometimes pan to the marshal running off, and then you get like a
We didn't
funny
see a replay. We
meme
didn't see
of
nothing.
a marshal falling or something.
They'll say, "Yeah, this is what it was for."
Yeah. No, nothing happened.
No, nothing. This is
I agree with
100%
you.
a tinfoil hat. This is
Yeah.
that second one. The first one I'll give. The second one was like, oh, VSC, half a lap. Somebody actually wasn't it? Kimmy came in for a pit stop at that. Somebody came in for a pit stop there, and then as soon as that
Max?
person's gone,
Yeah.
no, yeah, maybe Max. No, I think that was Kimmy. Either
No,
way.
Max was the first one. Yeah. The second
And then
VSC, I don't know.
yes, I can't remember, but somebody came in. I think it was only one at that point, and then very quickly it was off, and I'm like, this is fishy as fuck.
Something
Yeah,
wrong here.
something's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then again, not that the race completely settles down, and I didn't find this race boring by any means, but it did settle down, which most
No.
races do. There are moments where it's like, okay, everybody's just waiting for that pit stop moment. Everybody's waiting for something crazy to happen. And the something crazy that happens in the pit lane. Lewis goes in to change his tires.
Tire change. He also has the 5-second penalty. So they decide to.
Yes.
Was this during a VSC?
This was a double stack.
Yeah, they decided to double stack. It was during a VSC, wasn't it? I believe it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do double stack. They bring Charles in. Great pit stop for him. He's gone. They bring Lewis in.
Lap 20.
It was kind of that like, are they going to remember on a double stack that they can't touch Lewis's car? Because I was like, they're getting pretty darn close.
Yeah, they did.
but he does his 5 second penalty. Great. They change his tires,
Hmm.
and there was a last minute call from Ferrari pit wall or whatever to adjust his wing, his front wing. And but Lewis is shown the green flag. So he's allowed to go back
Yeah.
out. His tire change is done, which
Yeah, it's
means he's
automatic.
now
They see
looking,
green,
yeah,
they go. Yeah.
yeah. And he is now looking left as that is where he is going to go. And a mechanic who is told to go and tighten something is coming from his right. Lewis does not see him.
No.
And I mean, it could have been 100 times worse. But the mechanic is hit by the front tire. He's not completely run
Slightly,
over, but
slightly rolled.
yeah, he's rolled. That's a good.
I mean, Lewis did move. Obviously, reaction when he sees green,
Yeah.
sees that he hits him, stops, sees
Mhm.
the guy, clears a tire, decides to go.
I
Then
mean, he's
asks,
quickly
"Is
on
he
the
okay?"
radio. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And once he gets back in the pit lane, it's like, "Is he okay?" But I had
Yeah.
to get back to this race.
Yeah.
He
He's
could
like,
have been under my other
My bad.
tire, but
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to see that bruise because you know that that is
oh,
bruised.
that hurts.
Like, yeah. Like the, not even road rash, but like kind of like a road rash on his body, I'm sure, to some degree.
Yeah, it looked like the guy was walking, moving real slow. Like he
It
wasn't
did.
sure what he was supposed to do
It
before he
did.
got out of the way. Now it could have just been like, holy shit, he's moving. I got to move the other way. Now it's just whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he hits that. It's pretty bad. Guy's
Yeah.
fine. If he
Oh,
was dead, we'd never find out.
yeah. I
You know,
mean,
Mafia would take care of that.
yeah. He is he's fine. Or they tell Lewis he's fine at least.
Yeah,
Um
got to keep him in the
and
race.
kind of, soon after that we do hear that there is an unsafe release penalty pending. And they're going to speak to it'll be decided after the race. Um what's a little annoying with an unsafe release because there was all this talk of it could be a fine for the team or it could be a
Hmm.
another penalty for Lewis. Anytime these unsafe release happened when, they release one driver into the path of another driver coming into the pits, it always frustrates me when it becomes a penalty for the driver. Because the driver has, like you said, the driver sees green, they're
Well,
told to go. So that always frustrates me. But in this case, it didn't end up being for the driver. It was for
no.
the team.
Hmm.
Um, they did get a twenty
Because
thousand
they
dollar.
determined a $30,000, €30,000 fine with 10,000 suspended. Again, with these suspended fines, blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
So essentially 20,000 euros. The reason they didn't is because the cause of the collision was the green. They were saying that the Ferrari pit wall should have noticed that there was a person there and not put up that green. It wasn't on Lewis or the car, whatever. I get it. Sometimes it's for the driver because he moves when he shouldn't move. That's one thing. But at least
yeah,
they had the
that's
good sense to look it over and be like, okay, no, Ferrari, you fucked up. You
yeah,
know, you can
yeah,
take the 20 euros
majorly.
and pay his medical bills.
Yeah. This poor guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, after that, what else do we have in the race? We have both racing bulls. Oh no, we haven't even talked about Hajar, who has quietly made his way
Quietly.
through the pack towards the end of the race, and he is in the top 10.
Hmm.
Uh, and I mean, we can do the spoiler for him. He finishes in P6
Yeah.
from P21
Hmm.
and
And
all
only
pretty quietly.
and
Like,
only 12 seconds behind Max, which is who has very consistently stayed in the 2-3-1 spot.
yeah,
Other than a pit stop, maybe dropped a little bit lower, but either way, all in
yeah,
that podium place.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which was really good on him. Lando was in a podium position for a while, but he had a pit stop to do, and he was
That
going to be
was
fighting
horrible. He
back.
needed to be perfect on his pit stop to just come out behind Hadjar with 9
Yeah.
laps ish,
Yeah.
something like that. The back left has a terrible time coming off. Then they also can't put it back on. So where he was hoping for a 2.3 to 2.6 pit stop was in the 4 or 5 ish seconds. I think it was like
I think it
4 ish
was, I was
seconds.
going to say it was even more than that.
More than that. Either way, he
Yeah.
comes out not only behind Hadjar, but behind Bortoleto, who is another 6 seconds or 8 seconds behind Hadjar. So he still has to pass Bortoleto before he can get onto and even attack Hadjar, which
Yeah.
Red Bull quickly says, we suspect him to be on your tail in the last 2 laps. And Hadjar just flies.
Books it. He's like,
Books
okay,
it.
gotta go.
Yeah. Still,
Yeah.
still they finish only 7 tenths apart.
Which
So,
says something for Lando. I
I mean, it
mean,
says something for Lando, but he went from 10 to 7. Sorry, 13 to 7, where Hadjar went 21 to 6.
yeah, big
Now I
difference.
get the quality of the cars in between 13 and 21
Yeah.
is a lot different than 10
And what
to
Lando had to
4,
fight
whatever.
through.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I get
Yeah.
that, but it just looks better.
Yeah, it definitely. I mean, he had a great overall race. Hadjar, that is.
Yeah,
But kind of unfortunate that we didn't get to see much of it. Again, to
no,
your point, there's probably not a lot to those passes. There's probably not a lot of fighting, which is maybe why we didn't see it. But
I, I mean, I don't need to go look through it, but I'm pretty sure he had made up the majority of those points or places by lap 20,
yeah, yeah, and I mean,
if not earlier.
once people started to pit, and he was in a position that he didn't need to pit again to waste those
Yeah,
20 seconds or whatever in the pit lane.
a lot of them were
Um,
through,
yeah, he was able to get
but
past that way.
he did pit again.
He did.
Yeah,
Later
lap
on, right?
30 ish. It
Yeah.
was in lap 20 with that VSC.
Oh, with the VSC.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. And then we kind of get to the end. Um,
Well, yes, not just the end. I mean, we have Charles in first for a long time. It takes a while
yeah.
for Kimi to pass him. And credit where credit's due, that Ferrari held on for a long time. Because for 5 or 6 laps, Charles stayed within that 1 second, within that overtake mode, and Kimi was not able to get through. He didn't get past him until, out of that overtake mode, till lap 41, I believe. Something like that, where he was,
Yeah.
and he only still finished 1.9 seconds ahead.
Yeah.
So something is happening in that Ferrari car,
Ferrari.
which is bringing them a little closer to the Mercedes.
Yeah. There was no, like, this was a race that nobody got a distance ahead.
No,
Like, it was
yeah,
always
well,
pretty close-ish. Um, did
two
we have any
safety,
lap?
two.
We did have lapped cars. I was like, did we have any lapped
Oh
cars? We
yes,
did.
oh yes, we
Yeah.
did. Of course we did.
Yeah.
Even with all the safety cars, the safety car and the 2 VSCs, Fernando Alonso was still a +2. And Valtteri Bottas was a +1. That's it. Now,
That's it.
Ocon was 30 seconds from being lapped, so um, he was still 110 seconds behind. I don't know, maybe actually probably 10 seconds behind thing. So he was still 110 seconds behind the leader. So it was pretty close, but and the Williams weren't far behind them.
Yeah.
But to have all those cars not lapped and the Aston Martin still lapped twice. At what point do you just give up the season?
Maybe they won't come back after the break.
I mean, I'm sure there's some kind of penalty, but is it really worth possibly just replacing parts? I get you still need to see what works and what doesn't for next year, but
It's frustrating.
How can you be? You can't even consider yourself a pace car because you are not even on anywhere near the pace. Now we talked about the. Did we talk about this before? Or just during the actual gap between Aston Martin's qualifying time versus the final qualifying time. So
Yeah.
when you see them out qualified in Q1, and they're out qualified, excuse me, by 4 seconds from the top finisher, and from an actual moving on to a Q2, they're 3-ish seconds off, which is still quite a bit for qualifying. They're 3 seconds off an actual Q2 start. Their qualifying time versus the fastest time was 6 seconds. That is a lifetime.
Yeah.
They are nowhere near. I don't think there's any upgrade they can bring this year and probably next year, which brings them into, top of the midfield, let's say. They might be able to get to bottom of a midfield, I think. But at this point, they're
You
just.
even think that?
I'm being generous because at
Generous.
this point they are so bad they're not even worth making fun of. Like they're
Yeah.
just non-existent.
It's just sad at this point. Like it's
How could you? And okay, you go out, you spend the money, you get Adrian Newey. He's an aerodynamicist for, yes, he knows cars, and I'm not gonna try and disparage, or take him down on what he knows on engines and all that stuff. I'm sure he is a very knowledgeable person, but you spend all this money. Something's not working in your team because it doesn't take one person; it takes thousands of people, or 1,000,
yeah.
or 700, or whatever, how many people. We can say all we want to say about you having your son as a driver who is nowhere near a top half of a driver quality. Let's put it that way. Okay. I get it. He's Canadian. I know some people are going to disagree. Find me 8 other drivers that are better than him, are not better than him. Can't do it. But you're ruining Fernando Alonso and his career.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I think that's the biggest piece of it is it's not just Stroll.
No.
There is something wrong, inherently wrong,
Mm-hmm.
um, with this car. And we complained last year or 2 years ago that there's such a difference between uh, Max's car and Perez's car, and how
Mm-hmm.
come Perez was not making it out of Q2 or Q1, and Max was. At this point, I would like to see them get out of Q1. I like, even you have somebody like an Audi, a Cadillac, a Williams even this year, at least one of them might move out. Randomly,
Yeah.
at a random race, you get one of them into Q something. And even with that, we're not even getting them into P17, P18. Like
Well,
we are staying in 21 and 22,
when you
which is
look at most cars, their drivers are in equal machinery, pretty close. I mean,
mm,
okay, yeah, you don't see that usually with Max. There's been a big gap between the Mercedes, but usually it's one or the other.
hmm
When you get to the lower tier cars, quote unquote, they're within the same gap, right? But when we're looking at quality of driver, we can probably put them pretty close to on par with each other, I would say.
yeah,
If you're going to put me, if I'm going to rank or find a driver pairing that has a large gap, one of the first things I'm going to look at is Alonso and Stroll.
hmm
I'm sorry. Alonso's going to be able to find lap times. He's going to be able to
yeah,
find stuff on the racetrack better than Stroll's probably going to be able to do.
yeah,
I have no doubt about it. When they are a tenth apart, something's wrong with your car. There was nothing more to be gotten out of that car.
Yeah.
If both of like you're one of the lowest tier drivers on the grid and one of the even high to mid drivers at
Hmm.
Alonso at his age now, whatever.
Yeah.
Um, if there is not this gap, then it's not like your car is fundamentally fucked.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, people are going to say, oh, you're not saying the same thing about Cadillac. Cadillac's a new team. I got nothing bad to say about Cadillac. The fact that they're even
Cadillac are on par. Their car is not great either. I'm not
their
gonna.
car is not great, but they're a new team. Aston
Yeah,
Martin is a team that has spent billions, has an established they've been doing this, and
yeah,
just 2.5 years ago, they were winning races. They were
yep,
on the podium.
yep.
And to have fallen to this point, and I know teams do it. Teams go through waves of being really good and then really shitty. This is next level though. There's something wrong. And it's
There is something
we talk a
very
lot.
wrong.
We talk a lot about Stroll. At this point, it's not Stroll.
It's not Stroll. It's not Stroll. It's the car. They
Yeah.
are almost 2.5 seconds behind, like you said, the Cadillacs. The Cadillacs who are a new team who had to develop this from the ground up in the last 2 years or whatever,
Yeah.
however long they've been working on it. Where, Aston Martin's been here before they were even Aston Martin. They were a racing port, Force India. Okay.
Yeah.
They've had this moment. Bottas and Perez, I would even say, are on even-ish, or at least a closer gap in driver quality than you would
Yeah.
have Alonso and Stroll.
Yeah. For
So
sure.
it's not the drivers. It
No.
is the car.
Yeah.
It is the team. It is whatever it is, whether it's culture, whether it's spending, which I don't think they have a problem spending. It's development. Somewhere along the line, it's just not working.
Yeah.
And you can
And when
identify big things like weight and all that other stuff, or power unit, whatever, efficiency and all that other shit. But there's something else. It has to be something else.
Yeah. It's mind blowing at this point. And like you said,
Yeah.
it's not even funny anymore. Like it's like
No, it's just
what
like
the
I don't
hell?
even I mean I keep talking about, but I don't want to talk about them because they're
Yeah.
just it's depressing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we don't have to.
No, there you go.
Anyways, Kimi Antonelli. He
Give me
won.
Antonelli one, yeah. Charles
Uh
Leclerc behind him,
yeah.
and Max with another podium. And they
Yeah.
said something. It was been 270 something days since we had a Max and Charles on the podium at the same time. Didn't realize it'd been that long. But I mean, we usually have both Mercedes on there. That's gonna happen.
Fair. Uh, that top three, when they did their post race interviews, their cool down rooms, they seemed like they enjoyed this race. They seemed
Yeah,
smiley, happy. Um, yeah, they seemed to have fun. I don't know if anybody else did, but those three seemed to have fun.
it didn't look like many other people behind them did.
No, it
No.
really didn't. Um, and yeah, Lewis didn't get the because that was up to the end of the race because it was being discussed after. There was kind of this discussion of, oh, maybe Lewis is going to fall back even further. I'm glad it wasn't a penalty
Yeah,
against him, and it was something for the team. Um, and yeah, Hajar into sixth. I can't say much more about that. That was he didn't get driver of the day, but he
he should
definitely
have.
deserved
He
driver of
definitely
the day.
deserved
And
it.
I think maybe
Who did?
because uh, Sharp.
Okay,
I think
yeah, I agree with that one. Yeah, that one
um I think Charles got driver of the day. Um, but it could be because we didn't see it.
it
We
was.
we didn't see Hajar get from 21. If you don't see what's going on, you're not going to think it was great. So
No, I think that's a lot to do with also people are not generally fans of Red Bull.
yeah,
So unless it's
yeah,
Max, but
yeah.
no, but I'm not mad at Charles getting
No,
driver of the day.
no, not at all. Um, Just quickly, a little bit of news. Jos Verstappen and Max's manager were seen walking in and out of the McLaren motor home, whatever they're called, uh, during the weekend,
Hmm.
which oddly you have Max giving one word answers about his future on Thursday, and then to have his dad and his manager walking into the team where all of the rumors are coming from.
I mean, we've seen the walks down the motorcades.
Yep.
It's a long way to go.
Hmm.
Maybe they just had to pee and they couldn't wait till they got to the end of their end of the paddock.
Perhaps.
It could just happen. You never
Could
know.
be. You never know. I don't see Zach stopping in or Joss stopping in to say hi to Zach, but
Not cordially,
crazier
no.
crazier things have happened. So, adding fuel to the rumors
Yeah.
that your son is trying to squash all of that.
I
But
mean, yeah, exactly. He said he spent all weekend saying no, 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 and then you're like, yeah, fuck this kid.
yeah,
I'm working
we're
hard.
just we're just gonna go talk
Yeah,
to
yeah,
McLaren.
yeah. Because we
Um,
couldn't do it any other time.
God, yeah. Um, yeah, I didn't have any other news really. Did we have
I did
much?
not either.
Yeah, that was the only thing.
That was it.
Fresh set, dirty air since it's a race weekend.
Oh, I have. I have to give my dirty air to the broadcast team of F1.
Oh,
So we didn't see a lot of Hajar's run through from 21st to 6th. Um, there were certain parts where, just randomly, that little square box where they show an onboard. They showed Max, who had nobody in front of him, nobody behind him. He was just racing. I was like,
yeah,
why do I want to see this?
yeah,
They've completely missed what racing is actually supposed to be, not just a
yeah,
Sunday drive. As we see from the German broadcast, you hear all of George's radio. We hear none of George's radio. We just see on the F1 broadcast, we just see his head in his hands, like he's just pissed off, which was why it's such a shock to hear him talk about Lewis, it just being a racing incident.
yeah,
Um, they just kind of they miss the good moments, and
yeah,
I'm here for the good moments.
yeah. I would agree with that.
Especially on
They've been
the
messing up.
last spa. Like, I'm not going to spa for another 2 years. Fuck you, F1.
Yeah, we going on that, we didn't see a lot of um shots of going up Eau Rouge to Radion. We
No,
saw it from the top, which okay, cool. But
we
seeing
did
it
get a lot
from
of
the
helicopter
back,
ones, though.
yeah,
Yeah, we
yeah,
did get a lot of helicopter ones.
yeah. Um,
Yeah, the one
uh,
that iconic, like, you're going to see them just kind of, yeah,
go, yeah. We didn't
yeah.
see a lot of those.
Maybe because it's a
Um,
battery issue, and then you just see them just kind of putt at the top. Yeah.
my dirty, I'll follow you and do dirty air. I am going to go Mercedes. We
I was close to
criticized
that one. I was
George.
close to that one.
We
Yeah.
criticized George a lot. But with the I like Kimmy, but with the drivers championship coming down to just 25 points, Mercedes, whatever the issue is, we don't know. But whatever the battery issue was that George is clearly complaining about, it took away. It was dangerous.
Hmm.
Clearly, it took away from what could have been a very interesting battle up front, and really would mess with the drivers' championship. I mean, even
Puts
if
him 50
George,
points now
yeah,
down.
even if George was in second, makes it interesting.
Well,
It,
speaking of, now Lewis has now overtaken George in the driver
yeah,
championship, and
yeah,
Charles Leclerc is a lot closer to George.
yeah. it's everything's changing.
Yeah.
And again, it's because George has had this DNF.
Yeah.
Um, and again, it was dangerous. So that would be Mercedes tighten up. Yeah, fresh
Yeah.
set.
Fresh set. Couldn't pick one, so I'm gonna pick them both for a little bit different reasons. Leclerc and Antonelli. Now it's obvious, but it's hard not to root for those two. Leclerc gave us great racing all weekend.
Hmm.
Great racing on track. It was not like one of those where you're racing for 20 laps for half the race and all of a sudden it just gets away from you. It was
Yeah.
a fight to the end, pretty much.
Yep.
Other than the last couple laps, which is fine. Um, and Antonelli typically does not show well in Europe. Oh, well, typically, this is his second year.
Second year.
He showed terribly last year in Europe,
Yeah.
for the most part. He didn't have a great start to his European vacation this year, um, and he was just absolutely flying this weekend. Uh, he deserved every single point that he gets. He earned it from qualifying on. So yeah, it's I don't want to pick them because there's so many obviously so many other places this year we're gonna be able to pick them, but it's hard not to for those
Yeah.
two.
Yeah. I would agree. I mean, Kimmy, what's this? His sixth win? Sixth, yeah.
Where are we? 3, 5, 6. Yep.
Sixth win. Um, yeah. I'm gonna go with Hadjar. I,
Yep.
he didn't get driver of the day. He didn't get shown. I'll give him his little his praise.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was, when Max did it, when Lewis has done it, they get their credit. They get driver of the day.
Yeah.
Um, but again, there's someone that is going to be showed on the our screens more. So,
Yep.
um, yeah, I think that was a great drive for him. He has been driving. There has been races that he has out qualified Max. Max has DNF'd a couple of races, and he's kept that Red Bull in the top 10. Might not be third or fourth or anything, but
Yeah.
he is competitive in it, and he's the first person to be competitive in it for a
Yeah.
few years. So, yeah, I think he deserves my fresh set there.
Uh, just a quick shout out to Gabriel Barletto, who qualified ninth, started eighth because of Lando's grid penalty, finished eighth. Just a quiet, good drive
Yeah,
in and
Lindblad
outie.
had a good one.
So
Drive
he did. Yeah, I said very
Lindblad
good.
had a good one as well.
Yeah.
It's P7, right?
P7. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
good for him. All right.
Sorry,
That's it.
finished 9, started 7. Yeah.
Lindblad.
Yes. Because Oscar and
Ah,
not Oscar, Lando and Hadjar came up.
yeah. All right. Well, there was another race next week. There is Hungary, which is the last
Hungary.
one, and then we have a
For our
3 week.
second break of this season, 3 week.
Yeah.
This is the shorter of the 2 breaks.
Yeah. God. Which is ironic. But yeah, we will see you guys next time.
Yep. Grab a fresh set.
Bye.